Alright. I'm gonna try again. I know you start here. I got it. 27th of the 6th. Target has lost interest. You bah! Up here. Does it still work? So, Jim Jones. We've got Isabel's date of birth. Go to the database. And pull in this info. So I've got quite a lot of stuff here, but there's no nickname yet. Go to the browser and copy paste. Let's find her toothbook. That will grab the nickname. And the ID. Loves world peace. And has got a private profile, so can't access anything there. Now let's try the crack program. Got the nickname, date of birth, the telephone number, the house number, crack. Got the password now. Gonna try high talk. Chat with Jennifer. Party at my house tonight, you in? Address. Got something to do today. Yes, and George, we're all neighbours, so I can collect. George and Jennifer are neighbours. George lives in the 7th house, I live in the middle. I promised Jim I'd help him with this tech project. A classmate invited Isabel to an 8 PM party that night, but Isabel said she was going to help Jim with his tech project. Wow, that painting robot. Back to Toothbook. I'm now in, and I've got the full profile now, because I got the password. So browse through this now. As one nightmare seemed to end, it became the beginning of another. Jim is sweet, but few know him. Well, some think he's a bit of a clown, yet truth be told, he's actually quite sharp. The painting AI robot he designed is particularly interesting. It's hard to believe that it was done by a sole high school student. He is a voracious reader, reading a lot in his spare time, which gives him the knowledge base to support his projects. I hope he will step out of his comfort zone and let others get to know him. He can grow. Austin came to me today while I was having lunch in the garden. Right to his face, I said that I don't like him unexpectedly. He asked me if I like Jim. I told him why not. Jim is 10,000 times better than him. Seconds later, his beastly side took over and he took my lunchbox. It was awful and scary, but I wasn't frightened. He finally showed me his true face and that evil look in his eyes. It felt like he wanted to kill me, but soon he calmed himself down and apologized to me. Earlier, I was confused, though it wasn't long until I realised that he had gone to Betty to get some sympathy. Betty immediately brought over some of his admirers to mess with me. Austin is a hypocrite. Isabel was framed because she turned down Austin. I got a new message. From this, I clearly know that Austin doesn't like me at all. What he loves is his honour and his reputation, and he finds too much joy in hate and violence. Today, Austin confessed his love on High Talk, but I didn't say anything back. I can't stand fake people. You know, those who say one thing and do another. Sometimes he is particularly radical. Sounds a lot like politicians then. If you don't agree with him or do things that he doesn't like, there might be retaliation waiting for you. The day before yesterday, George mentioned that there was once a girl named Julia Ann who turned away Austin's love. Austin once got back at a girl for rejecting his confession of love. She ended up real bad off. I hate the school the principal covers up for Austin no matter what he does. Everything he does is right. All the terrible things he does, bullying and insulting others, is all wiped under the rug. I've got no books left to read these days. I've read all the famous detective novels, so maybe I should try putting together one of my own. Today they bullied Jim again. The worst part is no one could do anything about it. Everyone chose to stand on the sidelines. They didn't want to get in trouble. Austin is such a sneaky liar. He demanded that George hit Jim with a hockey puck. The true story behind the broken hockey goal: Jim vandalised the goal when he was getting beaten up, and that's when Jim broke the goal. He was just protecting himself, but instead he accused Jim of vandalism, and the principal even believed it. Now Jim's got to pay for the repairs. It would be amazing if Jim got elected as student council president. Recently I read a whodunit called The Concealment. It was fantastic. The two criminals behind the time frame of the day of the crime through spatial reorganisation, which created a non-exist timeline. This let them provide each other with an alibi for the time of the murder. In fact, the timing of the victim's murder is obscured. Even if the police figured out the truth, the lack of evidence to support it left running in circles. Today I transferred to Bolton High School, so it's a fresh start for me, and I'm going to try to go with the flow. So it says timeline going back in time from top to bottom. So you'll see at the top, this is now at 100%. What happened to Austin? The school organised a science competition. Jim was the only one at the scene of the fire. There's a Cyclops around campus all the time. They tried to match their stories. Jim wanted a subscription to Science magazine. Austin planned to burn Jim's science project. Isabel may have been the last to see Austin. The concealment was Isabel's favourite novel. Austin's car was seen across the street from the school. The principal confirmed an accidental fire at the school. The scene of the fire points to arson. The true story behind the broken hockey game. Isabel turned down a party invitation. No sign of the arsonist was uncovered. Let's begin. Much of the information about the incident are contradictory. Can the truth be uncovered with this? Can the approximate time of the fire be figured out with the existing clues? Jim called the cops at around 9 PM. So you change this. I'll try 8 PM. The photo of the Cyclops being witnessed indicates that that time was the start of the fire in the exhibition hall. Who might have been in the exhibition hall when the fire started? Austin? Jim? Isabel? Through Isabel, we learned that she was most likely in the exhibition hall with Jim that night, and that same night Austin returned to the school exhibition hall to set the fire. Try to figure out how the fire happened in chronological order. So it's one of these again. You got Jim and Isabel stayed after school to set up this project in the exhibition hall. You got Austin returned to school intending to burn Jim's science project. I put that in number 2. Around 8 PM, a fire was lit in the school's exhibition hall. Jim called about the fire at around 9 PM, which follows on from Jim was the only one on the scene when the fire trucks arrived, and Austin went missing after the fire. His car was found at a suburban lake. Fire started around 8 PM. The firefighters weren't informed until 9 PM. Jim and Isabel were both at the scene, but why was Jim the only one there when police arrived? Austin went missing after he started the fire. Why was the car at a suburban lake? What's the truth behind all of this? Choices. Austin fled after starting the fire. Or Austin was injured when setting the fire. Or Jim and Isabel's experiment went awry. Austin may have had an accident when setting the fire. He may not be alive. Because his car was found.
If something really happened to Austin, Isabel must know the truth. The most important thing now is to find out from Isabel what really happened that night. Let's pose as cops and question her over the phone. See if she will crack under the pressure.
Oh. From the current information, it can be concluded that it is highly likely that something bad has already happened to Austin. So this is on 20% now, the hidden truth, and school scandals on 40%. I got an email. I got a recording. I nearly forgot.
Isabel, have you seen the BBS campus?
No? Is there something you want to tell me about it?
Someone took a photo of Cyclops there that day.
What are you talking about?
Someone took photographs that night. The place was on fire. Cyclops was there.
So he might have seen Austin with us that day?
I don't know if he saw it, but what if he told the police?
Don't be afraid. It wasn't us who killed Austin. He let himself suffer. It's not our fault. No matter what, don't panic. Cyclops was acting crazy all day. The police won't believe a lunatic's words. Jim, going back to what we discussed earlier, can you still do it?
Yes, I can do it.
Alright. But don't scare yourself silly. Bye.
Can I collect anything here? The Cyclops was there. Leaked information from Jim and Isabel's text messages. The Cyclops might have seen the truth. That's all that's there. I'm going now to Isabel. Cool. Hello, this is Isabel.
That's me. Who is this?
Is this Isabel? This is Detective James.
Oh, okay. Let me think. It was November 3rd. We had a date that night after school. It was from about 7:30 until 9:30, I think. And he drove off in a hurry after a phone call.
You sure about that?
Like, yeah, I didn't make that clear. After school, I went home first, and I didn't see him until 8:30 p.m. I don't know where he was before that.
Cyclops saw you at school.
No, we weren't. Besides, Cyclops is a lunatic. How can you believe that madman? I was on a date with Austin. Because it was Austin. He wanted to burn down the exhibition hall, and we were there trying to stop him. We didn't expect to get gasoline onto himself. When we found the fire extinguisher and came back, he was already dead. His father is so powerful, he won't let us go. Really? As long as I tell the truth, you'll believe me. Okay. Jim and I split the job. I was in charge of driving the car to the lake, and he was in charge of erasing any trace of Austin. After that, he set another fire and called the police. But hiding the body and covering it up was all my idea. Jim just did what I told him to do. He was a victim all along. We drove his car to the mountain behind the school and buried his body there.
Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Now, anything you can grab from this? Yeah, there is. Austin's real timetable that night went to the exhibition hall with gasoline to burn Jim's project. Information from Isabel's confession: Austin is dead. Isabel and Jim split the job that night. Jim doctored the scene while Isabel disposed of the body.
Unfortunately, the worst case scenario really happened. We need to think about how to break the news to Austin's father. He's gonna be heartbroken. Your mission is completed. You may choose to submit or continue to collect other information that may interest you.
Alright, that's the main bit done. There is still more that you can do. And find out next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time.